All right, Allie. I want to start today with a kind of simple question that has a surprisingly deep answer. Why does data matter now more than ever in architecture and construction? I mean, when I started out, data basically meant lugging around a stack of paper drawings and a well-worn code book, right? And yet, here we are, talking about data as the new backbone of everything we build.
Yeah, Laura, it's wild how much things have shifted. These days, data isn't just something we collect, it's, well, the core engine behind smarter project decisions. We're using it to optimize resources, flag risks before they blow up costs, and make decisions almost in real time. But, and I know you'll agree, a lot of this industry is still stuck in the past. I saw that number again recently. 72% of construction firms are still using paper documents for at least some part of their projects. It's mind-boggling.
It really is. And honestly, that stat doesn't surprise me as much as it probably should. I remember, especially early on, just how much time my team would lose double-checking amendments. You get a change in the local code, but if you missed the memo or just couldn't find the right page, you might stall an entire project for weeks. And then, you're the one chasing everyone else for signatures on paper. Digital transformation is undoing a lot of that pain, but the old habits die hard.
Totally. And the inefficient, fragmented workflows from before, they still haunt job sites. But now we have analytics that integrate info from all these different systems, giving us true project visibility. Instead of everyone being siloed, waiting on documents or email strings, you get this real view of what's happening and what could go wrong if you don't act fast. It changes everything. Like predictive analytics lets you actually anticipate issues versus scrambling after they've already hit.
Exactly. And I think the biggest breakthrough is how data empowers every role, architects, project managers, even owners, to plan better and cut risk. It's not just about digitizing the paperwork. It's really about turning those endless forms and notes into actionable insights. That's the leap. And honestly, it's about time we took it.
Couldn't agree more. It's not just a nice to have. It's the new blueprint for how this industry moves forward. So, Laura, let's talk about codes and compliance, because honestly, nothing slows a project down like waiting for site plan approvals or code clarifications, especially when you're still flipping through binders or emailing PDFs back and forth.
You're preaching to the choir here, Allie. I've lost track of the hours I spent hunting down the latest version of a fire safety amendment or cross-referencing accessibility codes between states. And it'd change again before you were even halfway through construction. Historically, it's all been this paper-heavy, very manual mess. Codes here, plans there, local changes lost in the shuffle. I think the word is chaos?
Yeah, absolute chaos. But now we've got some serious tools in the mix. If you look at platforms like ICC and especially UpCodes, they consolidate all these codes, federal, state, city, and any amendments or errata all in a digital library. No more cross-referencing a pile of different documents. You just search, or now, with their Copilot AI assistant, you ask a question and get project-specific answers in seconds, with instant code citations. That to me is just a huge time saver, and it removes a lot of the guesswork, right?
Absolutely. UpCodes has really become essential for teams who need to move fast but can't afford mistakes. With Copilot, you get clear, cited answers, and you can dive into diagrams or reference the actual code language. I mean, users report saving 15 hours per month minimum. And for some of the firms I've worked with, that's literally days back in the project schedule, just because they're not stuck Googling or making phone calls for every clarification.
Here's the rub, though. As much as these tools modernize the workflow, it makes you wonder, can AI-powered assistants actually eliminate human error, or do they just shift where the errors occur? Like, if you're relying on Copilot for your research, does that mean code officials, architects, project managers, do they have to upskill just to keep up?
I think about that a lot. Going digital forces everyone to not just use new tools, but to think differently about accountability. There's a learning curve, and some folks are a little wary, rightfully so, about putting too much trust in automation. But I would argue the cost of sticking with paper and fragmented systems is way higher than the risk of learning to collaborate with an AI assistant that can, frankly, spot errors nobody would have caught in paper documents. It's just a different kind of quality control now.
I agree. I guess the bigger question is, how do we rebuild our workflows so humans and AI actually work together instead of fighting for control? That's where the real modernization happens. Modernizing code research is just the first step, right? Upcodes and similar platforms have really set the bar. But I believe the next frontier is context-aware intelligence. Like, it's not enough to know the code. You have to know how it all fits with the project, the assemblies, the specs, down to the site itself. That's what we're focused on at InQI.
Right, so you've got these massive code libraries and powerful AI like Copilot, but verticalized, context-aware apps take it from answering questions to actually driving the project forward seamlessly. Tell me more about how InQI is making that leap, because as someone who's waded through so many disconnected processes, I'm honestly fascinated by the promise here.
Yeah, so when I was at Bay Scenery, the design build firm we built in the Bay Area, we had everything: in-house architects, construction crews, landscape teams. But our biggest bottleneck was this disconnect between design, compliance, and construction. We'd finish a plan, then realize months later the compliance documentation didn't match with the install details or product selections. That cost time, money, and frankly, reputation. InQI was created because I just got tired of that fragmentation. So what we did is unify code, assemblies, products, and specs all within one workflow. And then we layered AI that's not just smart, but aware of the context. What's this property? Which state? Which amendments? The IQ apps automate compliance in a way that's personalized to the project and user.
So you're telling me designers can upload raw property data, just like the address, and get instant deliverables that are already code-checked with details that actually match the job's products and specs? No more endless back and forths, or did we miss an amendment from last quarter?
Exactly. Context-aware means you're not pulling generic code, you're generating actionable, project-ready answers. We're going beyond the digital library. InQI's IQ apps are about automating the full life cycle: instant, accurate, and adaptive project deliverables. That's something you just can't do if you're only digitizing old workflows.
It feels like a whole new standard for the industry. Sort of a from codes to specs revolution, finally connecting those silos that have held everyone back. And honestly, it's about time someone did it. Allie, this was an awesome conversation, and I have a feeling we could go even deeper next time.
Absolutely, Laura. We've really just scratched the surface. There's so much more to dig into: how AI will impact field inspections, or streamline documentation for everyone from architects to the guys pouring concrete. But let's save that for a future episode.
Deal. Allie, thanks again, and thanks to everyone for listening to the InQI Blueprint. We'll be back soon with more on the future of AEC. Take care.
Thanks, Laura, and thank you to everyone out there. See you next time.